What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So I just have to say this. I mean, I've been listening to ESPN, Undisputed, these last couple weeks specifically. I've been, tuning in specifically just because I want to hear not only the topics that they were talking about, like most of you or a lot of you probably do, or some of you probably do, but I wanted to see their perspective on certain things and how they would dissect situations of certain, NBA teams and prospects. And I got to tell you, the Lakers have got to be the most talked about ninth seed in NBA history. I mean, first of all, we have to take it all the way back to when there wasn't even a play-in tournament. I mean, even if there wasn't a play-in tournament, if LeBron James is on a team that's in the ninth seed, even back before the play-in tournament was created, I still think it would have been the same thing. I still think they would have talked about the team just because LeBron's on there. And, I've never been a big LeBron fan at all. Don't get me wrong. I respect the man. I respect what he's done. I don't think he's the GOAT, my personal opinion. If you ask me, there's only one GOAT. And, honestly, a lot of you may feel differently, but if Michael Jordan isn't the GOAT, they wouldn't be comparing all these people to him. Ever since Mike retired, or when he played the last few years, or even when let's just go when he retired, they've been comparing people to him only. That just goes to show you he's the GOAT to me. Like if they're comparing people to you only, and it went from Kobe to LeBron, and it's probably going to go, after LeBron retires and people forget about him like 10 years from now, they'll probably be comparing somebody else to Michael Jordan, or maybe to LeBron and Mike. It's like Mike's name never leaves the conversation. So to me, he's got to be the GOAT really just off that alone. Now, we're going championships. It's been out the window because LeBron only has 4. Even if he does get one more, he still would only have 5, which I don't think he's going to get one more. I don't personally see it. But I mean, anything is possible because his journey is still going. It's still ongoing, but I don't personally see it. I don't think the Lakers are that good. And the fact of me saying that all in its own says they're not that good because they're in the ninth seed. They're a play-in tournament team. But it just goes to show whatever team LeBron is on, they predicate, they fabricate, they do everything in their power to uplift the team because they have so many LeBron apologists on TV. And if you're a LeBron fan, more power to you. I have nothing, nothing negative to say about you or anything like that. I'm just saying I haven't seen a player be losing or not have his team is not having a really good season, and they talk about him so much, and it's like, it's almost as if they're winning. Now, I can understand this was like hypothetically LeBron's last season or something like that, and he told everybody this is a farewell tour or something like that. Okay, that's a little bit different. I can understand that. I mean, I can really actually literally see that. Like, to me, the 1 or 2 seasons, I think, 1 year, I think Mike was on the Wizards. That was just like basically, just for entertainment. There's no way in the world the Wizards were going anywhere. The Wizards didn't have they had decent players, but they were not a good team at all. They only had, I think, one other good player on their team and a bunch of average guys on their team. It wasn't really like a formidable team. Like, okay, they really could be a threat. It's not like, he went to the Wizards, for Christ's sake. He didn't go to a team like the Lakers or the Bulls back in his younger days, or, I don't know, anybody. He didn't go to a team like that, or like the Sacramento Kings back in the day with Chris Webber and all them. He didn't go to a team that really had opportunity to win. He went to a team just to show that he still could play and have a little something left to give back to the fans or something like that, to see if he still can actually play the game of basketball at that old age. And it wasn't never really nothing like that. It was all entertainment. LeBron is on the Lakers, a team that is good enough to win in a lot of people's eyes, and a team that, he's really fighting to still be a top tier player. Now, my personal opinion, when I think of the Lakers, I don't care how good Anthony Davis has been playing. I don't care how good LeBron's been playing. I'm not saying that they don't have a chance like anybody else if they get in the play-in tournament, because they do. But at the same time, you listen to ESPN and Shannon Sharp and, I mean, then, you go to Undisputed, you listen to Keyshawn Johnson, and now they converted Paul Pierce over, in regards to how, the Lakers are playing, which they have won, I think, a lot of, several games. They've won a good amount of games after the All-Star break and caught fire a little bit. I'm not going to diminish that. But what I'm saying is they're making it seem like this team is geared up for a run in the playoffs to go out there and win it. And it's I don't really see that. And I'm not saying that, nothing is a possibility, but in my eyes, it's just not really, I really can't imagine the Lakers going out there from the play-in tournament going all the way to win the championship with an older LeBron James, who is probably, is more as much as injury prone as any player in the league right now, along with Anthony Davis. Even though, and that's the crazy thing, LeBron is more healthier most of the time than Anthony Davis is. Now, this year, Anthony Davis has played a little bit more, but Anthony Davis is so injury prone. LeBron is more available throughout the last several years than Anthony Davis is. Anthony Davis is younger than LeBron. Let that sink in. That's never a good sign. And then on top of that, when you look at the Lakers, they wouldn't match up well against the Timberwolves. One team they probably have to play in the first round, which that would, that can go either way in some people's mind, because I understand Timberwolves are young and they might make mistakes, maybe, possibly so. But then the Denver Nuggets, I think Denver would beat them, especially if Jamal Murray is there. I think the Clippers would beat them in a 7-game series. Matter of fact, I know the Clippers would beat them in a 7-game series because, like I said, people talk about the 21-point comeback against the Clippers, the last game they played. But think about it. They were down 21 points. It's not like they were up 21 points and found a way to get the victory. They were down 21 points in the fourth quarter, and the Clippers took their foot off the gas and let the Lakers come back and beat them when they should have never done that. But my point is, when the Clippers have really got their head on strong and their head on the way it's supposed to, that's probably not going to happen in the playoffs. If the Clippers are up by 21 points in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, Kawhi Leonard is going to seal the damn deal. Kawhi is a killer and has no remorse for LeBron, whoever, his family. If they're on the court, they're dead. That's how Kawhi plays. And everybody knows that. Kawhi don't give a damn about your accomplishments. He don't give a damn if you're a billionaire. He only gives a damn by putting you in a grave in 4 games, 4 out of 7 games. That's all he cares about. And the only reason why the Clippers probably have not won a championship or been to the finals is because he hasn't been healthy. And a lot of people can say that because that's more likely true. I believe it to be true. So I don't think they could beat the Clippers in a 7-game series. So then you go down to, or you could look at the OKC Thunder. A lot of people say they got a better matchup over OKC because they got more size and things like that. Okay, cool. They might have more of a matchup, problem nightmare for the Thunder. But if the Thunder utilize Shea right in that series, and Shea gets off the way he can, along with Williams and the other guys, and if they can get a little bit more production from, I'd say their bench, they would be fine. Defensively, with Dort and them, they would be fine. And like I said, it wouldn't be such a mismatch like a lot of people think. You see what I'm saying? Plus the Lakers, they find ways to give up games sometime throughout the season that they probably shouldn't have lost that they did. So, I mean, it's like we can't count that. They are a 9th seed team for a reason. They're not a 4th seed team, and they're just, making some mistakes. They're in the play-in tournament for a reason. They're not in the play-in tournament because they've been playing good all season. When you listen to ESPN and some of these naysayers on TV, it just really makes me cringe because it's like you're talking about this team doing all this much. And, yeah, they caught a hot streak. But, I mean, hell, even the Houston Rockets, they had won 10, 11 straight games about a couple weeks ago. Even they caught a hot streak. It doesn't mean they're a good enough team to go into the play-in tournament, which I don't think I think they're permanently eliminated now. But I mean, it didn't mean, even if they did make the play-in tournament, it didn't mean they were good enough to go in the play-in tournament and go all the way and win the whole championship. Look how hot they played. A lot of teams catch fire at certain times, but it doesn't necessarily mean that fire can't be put out. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen in a 7-game series when you're playing the same team 7 times and you got to beat them 4 out of 7 and make sure you secure the deal. I'm not sure that happens. And we got to also look at LeBron is older. Fatigue That sets in. Injuries are going to set in. And honestly, when we talk about LeBron and things like that, about being the GOAT and all the years that he's playing and he's still playing at a high level, I give him credit. But what a lot of people are not speaking on, a lot of things that the ESPN, a lot of them analysts don't speak on, this is a soft NBA era. You can't hand check. You can't physically foul people the way you once could. Ask LeBron James when he first came in the league how hard it was, how much more difficult it was to be at the top of your game at that time. Even though he was a top player coming in because he had so much hype around him, and I give him credit, he lived up to the hype. But ask him the difference between NBA then and now. Hand checking was in motion then. That means guys can be more physical with you then. Now it's just a 3-point shooting league. Now guys don't play defense anymore. I mean, every team you look at on TV scores over 100 points. Every team you look at on TV, I mean, I'm looking at the Orlando Magics, for Christ's sakes. Even though they do have a decent team, but every time I look at their games, like the scoreboard, they got over 100 points. It's like every team scores over 100. Now guys are scoring 200 points in the All-Star game. It's not that hard to be effective now with as soft as the NBA has become. That's the reason why LeBron is still dominating, because it's not hard for him. If Michael Jordan played in this era, if he was able to actually play still, if the rules the way they are now were back when Michael Jordan played for the Wizards, Michael Jordan probably would have took the Wizards maybe to the second or third round of the playoffs. He possibly could have did that, because, I mean, it wouldn't have been no hand checking, less physicality, all just shooting threes, teams not playing defense, guys just letting guys go to the basket and get wide open layups, and they just want to go back and forth on a scoring binge. That's the NBA now. And I hate to say that, but the NBA has become so watered down. The ratings, everything is not the way it used to be. The only thing that's really keeping the ratings up, really, technically, is the certain star players that people actually like looking at. And you got some good talent in the NBA, of course, but with the NBA being flooded with nothing but foreign players and foreign players taking over the NBA, it's really hurting the sport a lot more, which a lot of people might not be talking about. But foreign players are not as nasty. They're not as fierce. A foreign player can never dunk or go up on somebody the way LeBron could back in the day, or Kobe did back in the day, or Mike did back in the day, or a lot of players. Now you're just seeing guys just shoot threes and turn around, look at the crowd. I kind of blame Stephen Curry for that a little bit. But I mean, it's not a league where guys are really like show ultimate dominance. That's why a lot of foreign players look better than a lot of American players, which that should never be. Hopefully, maybe somebody like, Ant Edwards or maybe some other young players can, flip that over the years, but we'll have to see how that goes. But my whole point in saying all this is the NBA is a lot more easier to score and a lot more accessible to players who are offensively inclined, which makes it easier for LeBron to still stay around if he can kind of stay healthy and kind of keep, things going a little bit with his body, which he takes care of his body unlike anybody else. I give him credit, but at the same time, it's like I don't give him too much credit, because if there's less defense and less physicality, well, that makes it a whole lot easier for a lot of players in the league to score. I mean, it's nothing to see a player drop 40, 50 points now. Back in the day, I mean, growing up watching basketball, it was like reaching Mount Rushmore to score 50 points in a game, because it was so much harder back then to do it. Now I feel like any player in the NBA can score 50 points any given night. It could be a guy off the bench. Matter of fact, I think a guy on the Wizards or off the bench or one of the other team on Toronto Raptors a few nights ago scored 50 points in a game. He only averages like 6 points a game. I think he was like the first player ever to do something like that. I forgot his name, but I mean, I remember seeing it on X, on Twitter, and it's like, oh, okay, wow, that's amazing. Oh, okay, but then again, it kind of isn't, but it's like, damn, okay, somebody who average 6 points a game can come in there and drop 50 points. That's unreal. But that just shows you how much less defense they're playing and how less the game, how much the game has been watered down over the years, which allows players like LeBron to still be putting up good numbers and everything, because it's much easier to still impose his will on the game. So it's like when we look at the Lakers and all these things, they get talked about so much because LeBron is on there and because they are the Lakers, don't get me wrong, but I've never seen a team get talked about so much, like they're really doing so many good things throughout the season, and you're undermining other teams that have done more. Any team that's in the playoffs right now should be getting talked about a lot more than the Lakers. Any team from 1 through 6 in the Western Conference or Eastern Conference should be getting talked about much more than the Lakers. The Lakers get talked about on TV as if like they're actually in the 1 through 6 seed and they actually have a solidified playoff spot. I mean, if anything, they should wait till the Lakers, or if the Lakers possibly get out the play-in tournament, which I believe they definitely have a decent chance of doing that because I don't trust the Warriors. I'm not too sure about the Pelicans now. I mean, they kind of had a little winning streak going, and then they kind of like reversed back a little bit. Whoever else is in the play-in tournament, I mean, obviously it doesn't really matter too much. I think Phoenix might be there. I'm not sure. Or the Kings. That might be one team that can hold them back maybe. But I mean, in a crucial game, I'm not sure. I think the Kings, well, that's hit or miss. But I mean, my point is they make out the play-in tournament. Of course, they'd have a chance like anybody else. But I just don't see them really going past the first round because, like I said, the first round, they're probably playing Denver or the Timberwolves in the first round. That's going to be a poor matchup for them, I personally think. And if they do get past one of them, it's going to be a 7-game series, more wear and tear on LeBron. Anthony Davis probably going to get hurt. And then you're going into war with a team like the Clippers probably in the second round. Or maybe it might work out where, I don't know, Dallas might land the 6th seed and then they might actually play, the Mavericks in the second round. That'll be a tough matchup for them. Then you play the Clippers, hypothetically. They're not going to probably win that one, of course. So, I mean, it's like, no, it's too much of an uphill climb. And I really despise when analysts sit there and talk about this team and give them so much credit when there's other teams that's been playing better all season long, for the most part, and they're getting less airtime on TV while they're winning. It's pathetic. It really is. And it's because of LeBron James. And I understand he's supposed to get credit for who he's been and what he's done, but he's not the GOAT. And the Lakers, I don't see them going far. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But I think we should, give teams flowers who've been winning all season long rather than give a team flowers who's been half-ass playing throughout the season, decide to pick up at the end of the season, and they're still in the play-in tournament.